manager in Kentico. I'm responsible for German market and also for Austria and Switzerland, Czech Republic and Slovakia. And what I do, I present Kentico to our partners, to our clients. I'm taking care of all the clients and partners within this territory, help them to spread the knowledge of Kentico in this market. Yeah, so that's my role on sales. Okay,
Cool.
thank you.
Cool. I'm Andre. Nice to meet you all. I'm a consultant at Kentico, which is a very cool job, by the way. If you want to come work for us, we'll be okay, the part of my job is actually to drive Petra around as she sells Kentico and to help her convince clients and partners or find them a way how to achieve what they want. And also part of that is take feedback from partners, get it back to our company, and explain that to the responsible development teams. So it works both ways. We are here so that you can put a face to our company, know that there are real people behind the product. It's actually a lot of us in Czech Republic. You're of course anytime welcome to take a look at our office. Yeah, so part of my job is also to train people and to do presentations like this. Today I will not show you the presentation that I wanted to show you because that is more for developers that already know Kentico, that already know the boundaries or the limits of Kentico, so that I can show them how they can overcome those limits. But knowing that you don't really have an experience, and I think it would be better for you to see how the system looks like, how you can actually build a site on the system, and to get at least a feel of how the system works. So does that sound good? Yeah. I got a beer, so this should be fun in like a half an hour.
Fasten your seatbelt.
Cool. So first of all, what you see here, it's not the first slide of my presentation, but this is actually a Kentico installer. As was mentioned, Kentico comes as a normal installer, normal Windows binary. It lets you install the system into a folder. It lets you choose whatever properties you can configure for the installer. It requires an IIS server, so it runs on Windows, and requires a MS SQL database. Yeah, it cannot run without these prerequisites. So if you want to have a website on a different platform, Kentico will not run there. Yeah. It can run in cloud, it can run on premise, it's really up to you. Of course, I have a local computer here, so I run the instance on premise. So I'll close the installer. It has a few steps here, but I don't want to go through all of them. It's just where you can define how many components you want to install. And if you want to install some of our sample sites, because Kentico is quite a big system, it's here for over 13 years now. Currently we're working on version number 11, so it has come a long way to where we are now. It has really a lot of features. I'm with Kentico for over 2.5 years now, and I don't really know every aspect of the system. Sometimes customer comes and they ask about the feature, and I'm like, okay, we have that feature. That's interesting. I should take a look at that. Yeah. So yeah, it's a really big system. Hopefully that can justify the money. When you install Kentico, it's registered in IIS just like any other application. I have that under my default website. But it can be as a separate site as well. I think I'm working with this one currently. And when you install Kentico, what you will see, first of all, what you will see is this nice dashboard. Actually, if you sign out, and you will see the login screen, but you will see this dashboard. Of course, after you see the license warning that you don't have a valid license. But what you see is this one. What I actually want to show you is how you can build a very simple site on Kentico that I think I can do in half an hour. So for that, I have some of these HTML templates prepared. So this is to simulate what you will get from front-end designer. Yeah, they usually get a design from a graphical guy or designer guy, whatever. They create an HTML and CSS out of that. Yeah. along with some JavaScript, and this is the result of their work. Yeah, so this is an HTML template that does not have any functionality. It looks kind of good. It wasn't done by me, so feel free to give me feedback on that. But what I want to show you is how you can take what you see here, how you can take it and put it into Kentico. Yeah. Whenever you work with Kentico, it all comes down to sites. One installation, as I showed you, and one site in iOS, one database can host as many sites as you want. And actually, we work with freelancers as well, so they usually do it that way, that they install Kentico as one site on their rented server, and they build all their websites on top of the instance. Yeah? Because they usually tend to be easy sites that don't really require any coding. You can just click through Kentico and create the site. So usually they have everything on one instance of Kentico. Now I'm going through the wizard of creating a new site. I'm going to call that site Media Clinic because that's what the site looks like. Yeah, there's the logo here. And pointing that to the domain. This is not important because it just explains that there are some objects in Kentico that have to be assigned to a simple site. I can talk more about that later. This is just to show you the wizard for a new site. I'm just blindly clicking through, and there is not much for us to see here. Now you see that I cannot have two sites running on the same domain, so I will just stop the other site that I have here and run my new Media Clinic site. Yeah. And at this point, I already created the site. I can now look at it. Okay, not now, because I have to first switch to that site. Yeah. Now this should work. So you will see it takes a while before the website is compiled and displayed, but this is a blank site. Yeah, you wouldn't see anything here. There is no content here yet, but just to show you that the website is up and running. Now that was 3 minutes. Yeah, so you can set up a new site in 3 minutes.
We charge 2 days. Can we delete that, please?
I used to be a developer, and I used to do time estimations, so I know exactly what that is about. I do it for 1 hour, then charge the client 5 days. The funny thing is that they never know. Okay, so this is the site that I have here. The Pages application is the main application where you change content of the site, where also the people that you work for will have access to. Yeah, so they can go in. They don't really have to bother you unless you want to, because you can charge them additional hours. But if you don't want them to bother you, because you have too many other clients, then you can give them access to this application. You can set exactly to which elements they should have access. So it's not like with other systems that they just get access to the whole system, but you can selectively remove all the controls that are not meant to be used by them. Yeah. So they can when they access this application, they see the tree here, and they can see, for example, just the page tab. Yeah, because that's the only thing where they should be changing content. So they are also not confused. Yeah? When they access the system, they wouldn't see this dashboard because you are a global admin of the site, but they would just see one application, for example. Yeah, so they know this is where I should click. Now, what I want to show you is how we can actually build a site here. So we're on the master page. Kentico works on how do you say that in English? On a model. That would be a good word. On a model of master pages and child pages. It means that on each page you have a let me open this. You have a for example, header and footer. Yeah. On this page you can see that this part right here, that's my header, and that will be pretty much the same on all pages. Yeah, it wouldn't change, just the menu will change, but as a structure it will not change. The same goes for footer. If you take a look here, sorry. Partials, yeah, sure. That's the same as partials and MVC. Wow, that just got thick. I never know how this tool works, but it's kind of nice. So that's the footer, yeah. So this stays the same on all pages almost as well, yeah. So this is the concept of master pages and the child pages. Now, to show you how easy this is, I'm on a master page now. That's the frame around all the pages. Now I'm just gonna edit the layout here and blindly copy everything that I have in index page. Yeah? Because Kentico is handling a lot of stuff for you, I don't need to copy this part because Kentico will add that in for me. Yeah? It already has the HTML5 markup, so I don't need to copy that. I will just copy whatever is in between the body tags. Yeah? So it's as easy as that. I will remove whatever is in there and put it in here. Actually, I think there is a typo here somewhere. There it is. You see that it's not highlighted in the right way. Yeah? So I'll just remove that. And sometimes you don't get the nice content, the nice indentation here, so we'll just select everything and make it indent the right way. Yeah? And save that. Now you'll see that on the page tab, when I switch there, my site will have the content, but it will not have any style sheets. Yeah? I just put in the HTML content, but I don't have any front-end resources, so I'll just take the whole folder, assets, and put it into the folder where I have installed the system. Yeah, so that's the CMS folder, and we have a best practice to create a folder always for the site that you create. So that's my media client site, and put the folder in there. Just a simple copy paste. Yeah, you will see that there are CSS style sheets, scripts, and so on. I will just put the whole folder in there. Now we have that recommendation because when you move to another version of the system, or you want to export the site, you want to take whatever customization you've done, you just have to take one folder with you and you're fine. Yeah, that's the reason. Now to make this look nice, I will go back to master page and actually include the style sheet here, which would be again in index.html. That would be this part. And also this part, and because we're using some fonts from Google, so we'll again just copy paste this and copy the style sheet. And because we're not in a static system now, we are in Kentico, which is a dynamic system. I need to reference the root of the project and my new folder that I just created in the CMS. Yeah. When I do that, I should already see some results. Yeah, so you see that my website is now, it now looks quite good, but still it's very static. Yeah, everything is there defined statically as an HTML. Now to fix that, okay, thank you jQuery, you did it again. Okay, there we go. In order to fix that, there is also one thing, another script that has to be fixed. And in order to fix the dynamic stuff, I will just remove whatever I don't need on the master page. So right now I have just the footer and the header. The rest I can remove. That's not a content of the frame. Yeah? So again, very easy step. Just delete everything. And what Kentico provides you with are web part zones. These are like containers where you can put any dynamic content you want. So I'll put one here where my child pages should be, call it zone content. So I can close that template. And on design tab, you can actually see how the page looks like, and you can see all the containers that you've created. You can see there's my zone content now. You can see that the menu is already here in order. Now when I make the page look bigger, you see that it's kind of responsive. It's not the best, but we work what we have. This is what we call web part. That is the thing that you put into a container. Yeah. So these are like user controls, pieces of HTML that you put in a page to make it do the things that you want. Yeah. Page placeholder is actually something that will tell master page where the child pages should be. So just drag and drop it from this list. And you can see that my page will lose its content from the child page. Now to get it back, I'll just open the content tree and create a new page here. New page can be based on a menu item, page type. So we have various page types. Page type is something like a template for content. Yeah, there you define what the editor will fill in. So for news article, that would be a text, that would be an image for the article and publishing dates. Yeah. For simple page that will have unstructured content, that would be just a page name. Yeah. So let's call this page home and create a blank page. Now this will create a blank template for me as well, because Kentico has a feature for templates where you can reuse the template or create a new one. You can define if the page has its own template or inherits the template from parent and so on. Yeah. So this way I'm creating a completely new template. Yeah. So I can do whatever I want here, and exactly the same way as I did the master page, I will do the child page. Yeah, so I will just look at the HTML again and copy over the things that I've removed from the master page, which is this part, yeah, between header and footer. And when I do that, I will just change again layout of the template and put the content there by just simple copy pasting and make it look nice. Now we can go even further to remove the static content here as well. And again put there the container like on a master page. Yeah? But in this case this will be zone teaser, or however else you want to call it. That's this part of the page. Yeah? And the rest is below. You see that there is some layout here, which creates me a left column and right column. I will try to keep that there. And put another container, two other containers here. So this will be zone right. This could be zone left. Okay. Now this will take a second. Okay, here we go. Okay, I think I haven't saved that. Yeah. This should go out. I thought I put the zone there. Okay, now you see that we have the teaser in there, but there is still a container for our components. The same will happen for master page, because we still have some static content in there on the place of the menu. So let me do the same step again for the menu here. I put actually the nav element as well, and call that the zone menu, right? Now at this point, the editor can already come in and change whatever content they want on the page tab. Yeah, they can change the content of. Oops, not yet. Sorry, I have to put a content in the web part in there. The editable text. At this point, not at the previous point, but at this point, now the editor can come in and make changes here. Yeah. So. What you've made is actually this part of the website to be dynamic. Yeah. Now it's no longer static. We can go in and make a change without even any knowledge about HTML. Yeah. You can see that it features a Webklusive editor, so you can just go in and make this heading 1. You can see that it's already in the style. Yeah. This would be welcome, and I think this is a paragraph. Yeah, just copy the paragraph over and save it. Yeah. So the editor does not really get access to any HTML, but they can still make the website look nice.
Can I also put some classes on the items?
Sure. Depends on which items. For example, if you want to go in here and add the link in there, and just get out of the. Let me add the link here. I think it was contact our doctor or something like that. So let's put a link in there. And I think in our case the link has a class button red bold big. So you can add a link for web and define some advanced things. screen is too small, apparently. Let me see if I can close this and check it again. I think there should be a class.
Can you
like
scroll
here
down?
somewhere. I would love that, but I don't see the scroll. Yeah, there it is. Cool.
That's easy.
You see that right now it's in the paragraph, so I would still need to get it out of the paragraph.
You usually see the markup with the top right?
Yeah. Here.
Okay.
Put it here. It's still in the paragraph, so let me remove it from here manually. And there we go. Now, of course, for the editors, you can also enable or disable these buttons. Yeah. So they don't necessarily need to see the source, or they doesn't need to have the possibility to add images, to add macros, widgets, and something like that. Yeah. So we can do it this way. Let me see what else we have in there. Oh, the menu part. Yeah. So to make the menu dynamic, you can see that on design tab of the master page, I already have the zone menu in here. Now this is a responsive site, so when I open the content tree, the zone disappears. So we'll put it here and put there a CSS list menu apart here. This part doesn't really actually need any configuration. It renders a simple menu in a UL list, yeah, just like you would do. The only thing needed here would be the two nav elements, and for that, Kentico gives you an HTML envelope where you can define what should be rendered before and what should be rendered after. You can save and close that. And for that, I will actually create a new page called Medical Centers, or Contact Us. That would be also fine. So page Contact Us. Oops, create a blank page. Now those two pages can also share a layout if the layout of them is the same. See, there are two comments here. There are also two comments there. So what I can do is actually make both pages use the same layout, so that I don't have to define it again yet. And when I want to switch that layout to something else, I want to change some classes there. I do it on one place, not on all of them.
So you save the layout as a template?
Yeah, yes. Basically, yes. So I'll just take this whole thing and put it there as a new page layout. Yeah, let's call that Media Clinic 2 calls and paste it here. Okay, now at this point I can already use a shared layout, which will be Media Clinic 2 comments. And these actually don't share the same layout because there is also the teaser in here. So not in this case. This one would use its own layout, but the Contact Us page will use a slightly different layout because I don't need the banner in there. Yes, I'll just remove the banner because that is not on our Contact Us page. But the Contact Us page now can use the layout. So I'll just switch that to shared layout, Media Clinic 2 comments. At this point, when I go to Design tab, I should already see the web part zones in place. Yeah, zone left and zone right. I can continue working on the page. Yeah, on the left side there is a simple form. On the right side there is some static text. Again, what I will do is I will put into the zone right editable text web part, which enables me to add the text on the right side. So again, I will just copy paste it. You see that it keeps the styles in place. And for the form part, I will show you the forms application. One of the other applications that the editors will get access to when you create a new form. Let's just give it a name, Contact Us, and let Kentico handle the rest. Now, Kentico features form builder, which makes it easy to create forms. Now you can see here we have a name, email, and message fields, so you can just drag and drop them. Now this will be a name. Who's rest? Email and message. So we have control for email as well.
Is there also an alert message if required fields are not filled out, or do you have to
Yes.
set the required message?
Yeah, you can set here a required field,
Okay.
yeah, which will make the field required. You can also put here a validation rule, for example, for the name, that says the minimum length of the field should be 3, because no one has name shorter than 3 characters.
Joe.
Yeah?
Lou? Oh.
Okay. So let's call that full name. And then the message, and that will be the text area here. Okay, now this is the way how we create the form. The next step is actually define what happens after the form is submitted. So at that point you can choose if you want to display a text like thank you, or you want to redirect to URL. That is good for marketers, they always like the new page visits. Yeah. So we just display the text thank you. And at this point we have the form ready, so we can go back to our page.
Can I interrupt you for a second?
Yes.
Can somebody with a technical background please challenge that? So for instance, you said I want to work with a cheap CMS. Could you do that in the same amount of time with WordPress, for instance?
I haven't tested actually.
But
for,
I
form,
mean,
for form creation. So
Depends if you use plugins and
yeah, but then first you need to download everything. I mean, if a customer, if a client comes to you and says, here's our HTML front end design, just set up the CMS, create a
really
form,
fast here.
and one of our friends said he needs 1 hour for it. You would say probably as a developer, are you nuts? I mean, I'm really surprised how fast it can be.
Okay.
Regarding other type of customization, like disabling autofill, this can be done directly in the code, or is there?
That's a good question. I haven't actually done that yet. What you can do here, if you go to form, I just showed you the form builder, yeah, because that's the easy stuff, and I don't want to stress you out. But there's also a fields tab where you can define every single field in a more granular way, and you can define a lot of other properties there. Let's go for the name. So you see that there is a definition of the field appearance, how that's going to look like, which form control will you use, or we're using just a simple text box. But you can also use your custom one, or select one of the ones that we have here. That is always dependent on the data type, yeah. So currently we have form controls for type text. Now you can also define here advanced control settings. These are different for every single form control, yeah. And one of the ones that are for all is CSS styles, yeah. So we can define CSS style sheets here. HTML envelope, we can also define when the field is visible, when it's enabled. So there you also get macro rules, which are dynamic conditions that are evaluated at the time when the form is displayed, yeah. So you can see that there is a lot of conditions, like current month is, not sure what that is for. But if the current user is logged in, for example, then you don't need a name, you can just pre-fill that, yeah. And use a label instead of text box, for example, yeah. You can also make one field dependent on another. So if the user selects that they wanna, what would be the example of that? They wanna pay on delivery, you can ask them for an address, yeah. So you display different part of the form. Yeah.
But this condition, this is the solution for our question we had earlier. So can I show a user based on the time a different message? Remember? Maybe there's a condition when it's between 8 and...
You could do that
12,
here
right.
as well, but it could also, you know what you could also do? You could also write here, okay, not the best case here, but you could also write here if date time now hour is greater than 7. Hey, good morning. It's after 7 a.m. Yeah, and you're done. So you could do it this way as well. Yeah, it depends. With Kentico, there's always like a million ways how to do a certain thing.
Okay.
It depends how complicated you need it to be, how maintainable it needs to be. If you will be the one who edits it, or the editor will be the one who edits it. and it depends on how many times it actually occurs and so on. Yeah, but yeah, this could be a solution as well.
I mean, to get back to your question with can you do it with another open source CMS? Yeah, you could do, but it's not that customizable
Yeah.
as here.
And you're still in the same box, right?
And you can like customize everything without even coding a lot.
I can do much cooler things here, like for each user in global objects users, and go here for like a username.
So you can customize.
This will display every single user in the system. Yeah. So it's really easy. You get a lot of possibilities, a lot of dynamic expressions. Actually, to give you an idea how many we have here. Yeah. Let me jump into system. We have here macros and console. And here you can see basically a tree of all objects that we have available for custom expressions. Yeah. So you can see here that there's a lot of stuff. Document context. There is e-commerce context for all the products, for all currencies. So basically any object that you have in the system you can get here. If we go for documents /home, and let's say document name, get the real data with display values, you see that we get the output here. Yes, you can also test the expressions here. So if you go with the for each, okay. Sometimes it tries to help a bit too much. Yeah, you can do here X. Name. So this will give me all the users that I have in the system right now. Yeah. So and you can use this anywhere you want in the system. Yeah, you can use this in a page. You can use this in a configuration of the form control in the form itself. Yeah, up to you. Actually, that's also a nice case of the contact us form. If we go to fields and the name, we can set this to be a default value of the user that is currently logged in, if he's logged in. Yeah, so we can check if current user is authenticated. We can display here current username. And I think we also need to put here this part because it always needs to return a value. I will see if it works on the live side. So at this point, let me add the form to the site. So we will just need a form web part. So I'll just drag it here and configure that to be or to display the contact us form. And I also need to create an HTML envelope here with the div class box form. That's the thing that will create the nice pink background around it. Yeah. But here I actually know that I can reuse this kind of layout. I will probably need to use the same div container somewhere else in the system as well. So instead of specifying this for every single web part, I will create a web part container, and I will call that div container. You can see that the web part is here, so we're just creating the envelope, and I will put here container CSS class. Now this is a dynamic expression that will be filled by this value. So I'll put here the box form, yeah. So you will have the same container for all the web parts that you want to use it on, but you can define the CSS class for every web part differently. And save and close that, yeah. So that will give me the form, which will look nice, hopefully. And you see that I'm logged in, so I can see the administrator here. If I log out, there will be nothing here. Yeah. So it depends who is now in the system. And what you can also do is create a new field, but let's skip that. Yeah. To make it label for admin, but that would be a bit more complicated. So this is how we can create the form. Now we can see that we're halfway there. Yeah, you can just add this content onto the main page as well. but that would be the same case as with the editable text. Yeah, let's put the content in there. Oops, I forgot to change that one. So that is the link for the logo. So for that, I can just edit the layout of master page. Am I master page? Yes. So I just need to change the link of the main logo. This is the root of the project, yeah. Okay, now this should point to the right page. Now you see that the home page is not the main one, so to fix that I can just go to settings. And again, in settings you can define really a lot of settings for every single site separately. So I'm changing the video clinic. And I want to add the default page for content, which will be default alias path. So I can select it from the selector, it will be home. Now when I go back to just the domain, I should get redirected to /home. I don't get redirected because I would have to change the seal as well, but you see that the page is displayed correctly. Yeah. Okay, when I go to contact us page, you see that the menu is changing now. You see that the order is a bit weird, so let me fix that by going back to pages and rearranging that. Okay, that should do the trick. And that is pretty much all of the basic functionality of the site. I think we have the medical centers here, but these are just the single pages with some content on the right side. We've done that on the home page as well, so the process will be exactly the same. Maybe what I can also show you is how to create doctors, because this is a structured content. So just to show you how easy it is, I will create a new page type. There is also a wizard for the page type. This should take some seconds. So let's call that media clinic doctor and set up a code name for it. And this wizard actually lets you choose which fields you want to include in your page type. So let's add there doctor name. Let's make that required. And let's use the text box here. Let's also use doctor image here as a file. This will take a second to update. And put another field for doctor, let's say note, or specialty. So whenever you have something like the doctor specialty, which is kind of the same thing for all the doctors, or they can choose from the specialty, they usually have something in common there. What you can do is change the form control to be a drop-down instead of a text box. And Kentico will update the settings for this form control. Now you can either use the list of options, which I will use, and so on. Or you can use an SQL query, for example, to get the data from a custom table or so on. Now we'll save that and move to the next page. Page name source will be doctor name, that's fine. This is also fine. And finish, please. Okay. Now when I have the page type created, I can go ahead and create pages based on it. So I can create here a section of the page called doctors. And then create a doctor below that page, yeah. Let's say we have here a Matthew Anderson. We can upload this image. Not that, that's my passport. There we are. Not here, doctors. I think this is someone else, but whatever. This will take a second to upload. Okay, here we have the image. Now he's going to be a general practitioner, and I can create another one. which will be John Miller. I can upload a page and save that. Now for this image that I'm uploading, what Kentico can also do, if you define that, is to have here multiple variants of the same image. Yeah. So you just need to define how to transfer the image into whatever you want. And Kentico on every upload can create multiple versions of the same image. This is good for responsive sites where you have the HTML5 image tag that can display different versions of an image for different screen sizes. Yeah. So Kentico can generate that for you as well, automatically. Now we have a few doctors here. So let me show you how those are actually displayed. So it's again very easy to set up. You just need to add one simple control called repeater in there. And let me actually fix the layout of this. Sorry, template. So I want to create the layout again, so I will again use the same one with the two columns. Okay. I'll put a repeater in there. And repeater actually can repeat whatever items you give it to. Just need to define the page type, which in my case is the doctor, and need to define the template. Yeah, so I'll just create a new transformation here. A transformation is basically one piece of the content. Let me open the template again for doctors. Yeah, so here's my list of doctors. Actually, this is one of the elements in the list. Yeah, so you have the UL starts here, plus doctors. This is one of the items in the list. So I can just take that and create a transformation for that. Oops, not community but doctor. Let's call that preview and change that to be text. We'll put the content here and just fill in the blanks. Yeah. So in my case here, this is a doctor name. You can see the autocomplete is already telling me what that is. This will be doctor specialty. And instead of the image, there is a lot of transformation methods you could use. There is a nice link into our documentation. I know that from the top of my head, I hope. That would be get image. And the get image needs the doctor image property. Yeah. It also needs some alternative text, which could be doctor name, and the size, maximum site size that you want to use. Now, for the link, we can use get document URL method, and we're done. Now we can take a second to load, save that, and use that for a transformation. The same goes for selected item transformation. This is another template that will be used for the detailed cards of doctors. So we'll take that, and you can see that we have that somewhere over here. That would be this part, I think. So I can just copy that over, fill in the blanks, and we have our feature ready. So detail, for example. Now the same process goes for the image. And without the size. Here we have the name again. Here we have the specialty. And opening hours we don't have anymore. Okay, now some kind of a link here. Okay. Now when this is done, I can just save and close this. Wait a second. And you can see that my list is almost okay, with one small change, that there has to be, again, HTML envelope, UL class doctors. Now when we look at that on the left side, You can see the doctor's list is complete. When we click through, you see that the card is ready as well. Yeah. So the same can be done for news articles, for example. Yeah, list of articles, then detailed page of an article. Now this will work even together with the publishing dates. So when you look at the doctor here, you have publishing dates. When you say that the doctor should be published till now, we should no longer see him on the live side. Yeah, he disappeared. So this works together nicely also with workflow and with other features of Kentico. All the web parts will actually respect that. And now the last part that I would like to show you before we get another beer is the smart search capabilities. Now it's very easy to set up, and we will be doing that because on the home page there is a find a doctor form. Yeah, and I want to make that work. So what I will do is first of all define searchable fields for every doctor. Now I don't want to get too much into it. The general rule is that the content is basically any text field, which is the name and the specialty. Now that is fine for me. And I will set up the image field to be doctor image. Okay, search is enabled, so I'm good. And I will create an index called Media Clinic Doctors. Let's make that a page index and subset analyzer. Now I will need to add some content that will be searched. So for every search index I need to define some content. So culture will be English United States. An index content will be just the doctors section. So I'm going to add allowed content and specify the path to be doctors. Okay. I'm done with the index, so I can rebuild it for now. You will see that Kentico takes a while to rebuild it. Now the index is ready. You see that we have only 2 doctors in the system. And on the search preview, we can take a look at what results we will get. Let's search for Matthew. You can see we get the Matthew also with an image. Yeah? So the next part we need to do is actually go to the Pages application. And we could create a page that would display all the search results. But a nicer way how we can do it, of course you will need to have that page at some point. But what you can also do is here in the zone right, I'm going to actually add a search box. Now that's going to be a smart search box. For the box, I will use the same webpack container as for the form because it's also with the gray or with the pink background. So let's do that with the div container, and the CSS class will be again box form. And for the search box, I need to define the URL of the page that will display the search results. Let me set it up for fictional page now, because the page doesn't exist. But what I want to show you here is that you can also set up a predictive search and define an index for the predictive search, which will be Media Clinic Doctors again. Yeah, I have only one index, so that's easy. And that's everything I need to do. We should see the box in here in a second. Cool. So we're just missing the static text above that says find a doctor. In this case, I'm already out of the Bing background, yeah. So it's not ideal the way I designed it. So what I can do is I can make it even easier. So I'll update the div container. I'll put here a simple condition. If container title is not blank, then I will output a container. Not sure what is the HTML here. That's an H2. So let's put there, where are we? H2. Container title. Ending of the H2. Okay. Now let's call the title find a doctor. Okay, there we go. And let's take a look on the live side. If we search for Matthew, this should take a second because it's compiling the components that I have used so far. But you can see here that I have Matthew Anderson right there. When I click through, I should get to the car of the doctor. Yeah. So you see that we spent like 45 minutes now, and the whole site is almost ready and dynamic. Yeah. So of course there are some other things that I could show you, but they are most of the other features are pretty much the same. So I think that we covered the majority of the features that we will need on the site. Where were we? So what do you think?
We're actually looking for developers, so if you're interested.
I don't want to know what you do when you get a Red Bull or something.
It's not my first time, so.
I have a question. Can I run this on WAMP server?
Where?
WAMP server.
No. WAMP server is that is running PHP, Apache, and MySQL. For Kentico, you will need an IIS and you will need an MS SQL database. MS SQL can be used as SQL Express, which is free. IIS is free as it is. The only thing you need is a Windows Server license.
Is there a free version where I can use to practice?
Sorry, what?
A free version.
Free version, yeah. Sorry. We have a free version. It contains, it's basically the same installation. So whenever you install Kentico, it's always the same code base, always the same database structure. The only thing that the license does is it limits the features. In case of a free version, let me show you. Free version. Where do we have that here? So here you can see the comparison of the free version and base and the ultimate license. Yeah, so there are, the major thing is that you have the limitation on number of pages and number of site members.
The reason why I'm asking is, for the free version, can I use it to like get a total estimate of what Kentico can do?
No, not really, because it limits the features. Yeah, you can get a trial version that's free for 30 days. Yeah, you cannot of course use it for production sites, but that's for evaluation. But to be honest, I don't think you can evaluate everything in 30 days. But yeah, for that version you have every feature available, so you can try for yourself everything. Now what I showed you is just the content part. Yeah, that's just the one thing. Then we have online marketing, where you can track visitors, you can see what they do, you can create campaigns for them, you can personalize content, you can create A/B tests to display different versions of a page and measure conversions that actually go out of those pages. Yeah. You can define contact groups to actually target the right visitors. You can set up email campaigns that can be also repeated. That you can start marketing automation processes. This is also a very cool feature, where you can plan what happens is if a person responds to an email, then you can automatically send another email. Then wait for a few days. If they don't act upon that, you can send another email. Everything is done automatically. Yeah. Kentico also features stuff like scheduled tasks that you can do some actions periodically. You can configure a lot of stuff here. You can debug the site, see where you have performance leaks. You can integrate it with another systems, using integration bus, which also features error handling. If the other system is down, it can handle the stuff. You can set up permissions for different users. You can create reporting. You can create reports of how many pages are displayed. But you can also create a report how many new doctors are added per day, for example. Yeah, or you can create a report based on how users are using the system. So the options are pretty much limitless. We should be here for a week for me to show you everything. Yeah.
What
But
about,
just yeah.
sorry to interrupt you. What about services in Azure such as Power BI? Can I easily integrate this on Kentico?
Power BI, we basically have a Power BI package that you could use. But from the integration point of view, this is just getting data from database into Power BI, for which you need the right SQL queries. Now we have a set of SQL queries that are around online marketing and about email marketing. So for that we already have like 5 cards with 10 graphs each card. So that will work. What was the other thing?
No, there was one, like, because there's a suite of services in Azure, like Power BI. So
Okay,
I thought there
yeah.
was a module there that I can just, because it's also a question of license, right? I mean, if I'm building a website for a client and he wants dashboards, then Power BI needs to have its own license, and then
Yeah, from Kentico point of view, we don't require any other license for Power BI. Yeah, because you're connecting directly to the database, so that's really up to you. It doesn't use any Kentico features. In case of Azure, we support that. Kentico runs in Azure. We have support for scaling out and also for scaling up. So yeah, everything is fine. We have I think tens of percents of our customers. We never know because we don't track our websites. Yeah, we would love to know. That would be actually a nice statistic for us. But not everyone is able to even share the results with us. So we don't know, but we see the trend that people are going to Azure more and more. And also the organizations, government organizations, where you would never expect that, they start thinking about it. So yeah, we support it and it works well.
cool, thanks.
Okay, any other questions? Cool, then I'll get another beer.
It was really impressive.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, is there anything else you want to share with us about Kentico?
Kentico Cloud.
Maybe we should make a break.
Yeah.
5 minutes? I don't know. Are you ready to continue?
5-minute break?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So 5 minutes means like half an hour like before.
I guess we should leave it to a cigarette then.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah? Okay.
Cool.